Northport and W265CG Tuscaloosa. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app. WTUG HD2 Northport and W265CG Tuscaloosa. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Alabama 1st and 10 on the 12. Again, Houston. He's got a hole. He's over. Alabama touchdown.
I'm just wondering if your listeners know how good a football player you were. I can still see you playing that fullback, knocking those players out of the way. And that I believe I could have run behind you.
Martin, I can remember when we came to center and you were playing fullback up there. And I saw you in the weight room and watched you work out in the weight room. And you could pick up, you were strong enough to pick up the whole weight room. I wanted to recruit you, and I running back coach didn't take the biggest mistake we ever made.
The Martin Houston Show with national championship winning fullback Martin Houston, giving you 1 hour of intense, hard-hitting analysis from an insider's perspective. It's time for the Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports, Tide 100.9, and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Good morning. It is Wednesday, Hump Day edition of the Martin Houston Show, and we're so glad that you have chosen to be with us on this beautiful Wednesday morning. Let's get things going on this wild card Wednesday. Love to hear from you, what you want to talk about. Remember, this is the Martin Houston Show, the sound of Bama sports, your show, your team. You may even want to talk about something that has nothing to do with the Alabama Crimson Tide. Well, we're all in on that as well. You can be a part of the program by calling 205-342-9904, 205-342-9904. The Taco Casa hotline is open for business. Would love to hear from you as we get ready to kick things off. I got a couple topics that I will toss out there to get your interaction on. But before we do that, I want to remind you that this is the day that the Lord has made, so let's rejoice and be glad in it. Taking time today to notice someone, love someone, serve someone, be the difference you want to see in the world today. Good morning, Joe. How you doing, sir?
Oh, great, Martin. Happy to make it to Wednesday, halfway through the week. Ready to see what you got in store for today.
Absolutely. As just a couple things we've kind of talked around a couple topics, and today may be a good time to dig into it. We've talked a little bit about Toa and a little bit about Jamison Williams, but we really hadn't talked about what they mean to the Alabama Crimson Tide on both sides of the ball. So I'd like to dig into that conversation a little bit deeper and what Alabama's getting in those two guys and what they bring to the table and what it means for this Alabama Crimson Tide team. You know, yesterday Pat made the statement that if Alabama wins 3 in a row, they're going to change the rule back. Last night on Alabama Tradition, I made a bold prediction. I was just having fun, and I'll bring it back up here in a moment, kind of on a what if type of scenario, Joe. If you could cherry pick from any position out there, where would you go in terms of the transfer portal? Who would you go get right now to round out this Alabama team? So think about that for a moment. Where would you go? Or maybe just what position, if you were Nick Saban and his staff and you could go out and get any player right now through the portal to help this team, where would you go? What would be your cherry pick selection, and then of course you can make a bold prediction about that as a possibility or not. But that was kind of what we talked about last night on the show. So I wanted to bring a little bit of that conversation in to the program. Before we get into that, I want to remind you once again, if you want to get in on the conversation, if you want to bring up a what if scenario for the Alabama Crimson Tide, or if you want to talk about Toa Toa and Williams and what they mean to this Alabama Crimson Tide, or if you got a bold prediction on this Wild Card Wednesday, go ahead and give us a call at 205-342 9904 205 342 9904, or chat us up on our social media accounts at Martin Houston 35 on Twitter and Martin Houston Live on Facebook. We'll bring you into the conversation. So, all right, Joe. We really hadn't talked a lot, as I said, in detail. We've kind of talked around the topic, but Henry To'oTo'o is a gentleman that is, I mean, you have to, you can have mixed emotions around this decision for different reasons, but you have to separate them and be real. I was asked a question, what was my initial reaction to him making the decision to come here? I'll ask you that same question, then I'll give you my thoughts on it. When you heard about Henry To'oTo'o choosing the Alabama Crimson Tide, what was your initial reaction?
Oh, my initial reaction was just laughter. I think that it further proves that Nick Saban is the king of college football. College football is broken, and Nick Saban knows how to break it. And he did that by pulling in one of the best inside linebacker prospects in the country. And good for us. Roll Tide. You wanted the 1 year transfer, the 1 year free transfer rule, and you got it. So we'll see what happens with it, and it's to our benefit. So Roll Tide.
Yeah, and that's where you kind of hit one side of it. I said I have mixed emotions. From the standpoint as an Alabama fan, it's like fist pumping. The Lane Kiffin. I call it the Lane Kiffin touchdown celebration, Joe, where you don't even have to wait to see what's going to happen on the play. You kind of know it's a touchdown. Where he'd be running down the sideline before the quarterback threw the ball because he knew he had called the right play. That's kind of the feeling you have when it comes to To'oTo'o in coming to Alabama. You feel like that's going to absolutely 100% be a touchdown get. It's. I mean, when you really think about it, did we just potentially Joe, go from a really good defense to an elite defense in the modern era of football? Is he that big of a piece that he could make Alabama be a legit old school defense in some sense of the word? Now, not that we're going to hold people to 7, 8, 11 points, but you'll have a feel that you have a dominant defense. And are we looking at 2 first-round draft picks from the same position in the same calendar year, sort of like we've seen with the wide receivers?
I think that it definitely takes this defense and puts them over the top. I think we were already looking at probably a very strong Alabama Crimson Tide defense, but you add Tennessee's leading tackler and an all SEC player into that defense, somebody who's comfortable with the position. Now he and Christian Harris can basically roam through that middle, and it's going to be scary for offenses. And yes, I think that you're looking at 2 guys who. I don't know if you're going to have 2 first-round draft picks, but you're definitely going to have 2 guys who go pretty early.
Yeah, they both have first-round talent, without a doubt. You can't always say how the NFL is going to draft and based on needs, etc. But we got a couple callers, so we'll pick this conversation back up because I want to get to the callers. But, one of the things that we've not talked about with To'oTo'o is this guy already knows our defense. I mean, Jeremy Pruitt was his coach. So you're not even having to reteach this kid how to play the position. You know, I mean, Jerry may have changed a few terms, but the scheme and how you play it, all the same. So not only are you getting a veteran player, Joe, you're getting a guy that's played the defense before. So it's really, really great fit. We'll talk more about that because I want to get to the callers. Got several people lining up. If you want to get in on the conversation, please do so. Remember, it's a Wild Card Wednesday, so you can be on topic or you can take it down a different path. Let's get to Pat. Pat, you went to Martin Houston Show. What's on your mind, sir?
Good morning, Mark. The main topic on Google on my telephone, and as soon as I punch in Google, it comes up Henry 2. Wow. I mean, it's like Coach Saban has just knocked it out of the park. You know, I don't know whether it was on your show or on. I made a prediction that Alabama was going to hold offenses to a 300-yard average per game, and everybody acted like I was stupid. And that I might have had more insight than most. What do you think?
I still think our defense is going to be great, but 300 that's pretty bold, Pat.
Hey,
300 is the 300 is the new 200, Pat. I mean, 300. Yeah, that's right. 300 is the new 200. Back in the day when you held the defense, the offense at 200 yards, that was impressive. You hold a team to 300 yards, a good team to 300 yards. That's impressive defensive football. And hey, we're definitely headed down that path of making a difference. And he's the type of guy that may put us over the hump, Pat. You may have been right.
Yeah, and what the biggest thing that I see with he didn't have near the kind of defensive line there at Tennessee that we have at Alabama, and him being able to make plays behind the defensive line like we have at Alabama, this could be special, Martin. It really could.
Yeah, he was one of the top guys that Nick Saban wanted coming out of high school. And so we'll see what he was able to do there, and in terms of getting this defense to the next level. Hey, Pat, I got a caller. I know I'm gonna have to get him on the other side of the break. No, I have to get him on the other side of the break. But do what now?
I said, have a blessed day. Thank you, sir.
All right, thanks, Pat. That's Pat making a bold prediction, doubling down on a bold prediction that he made earlier in terms of the situation with the defense holding people to 300 yards. Well, maybe Pat's not as crazy as we thought he was when he said it, now that we have Mr. Toa. We'll continue that conversation. We'll also open up the phone lines to other callers. John and Curtis, please hold on. We'll get you on the other side of the break. We appreciate your patience there. Thanks for being a part of the Martin Houston Show. We'll have more conversation on this Wild Card Wednesday in just a few moments.
From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, no active wrecks on this wet Wednesday morning. Just slow down and be careful. McFarland eastbound a bit slow at Berlin, and McFarland westbound also congested at Skyland. If you see other conditions, give us a call. Other dealers may be out of inventory, but Townsend Nissan has an awesome selection. And yes, they really want your trade. Townsend Nissan, I'm Captain Ray.
Everybody loves Taco Casa. Everything we do in our store, we prepare in our store. We hand cut all of our tomatoes. We block and shred our own cheese here in the store. So we still hand cut our chips, our sopapillas, our taco shells, our chimalupa bowls. Our chili takes about 4 to 6 hours to make every single day. The goal in that is to provide the freshest, best quality to our customers. So we just look at it as, hey, basically, we're your kitchen. You're just coming to eat in your kitchen. Taco Casa, under the biggest cactus in town.
Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. Views Alto is the vape as unique as the back roads you ride. With Views by You, you can choose from 7 colors, 3 flavors, 3 nicotine levels, and infinite wrap designs. Make Views Alto a vape that is yours. In store now. Discover more at Views.com. Views, charge beyond. Vapor products, underage sale prohibited. Website and offers restricted to age 21 and over tobacco consumers.
Clay's Cleaning Service has a spotless reputation.
Take care of the windows. Hello, this is Clay.
But his business operations could use a light dusting.
I had you scheduled for next week. I'll just check here. No, absolutely. We will be there tomorrow.
Indeed can help him hire the people he needs.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job, you immediately get your short list of quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job criteria. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
Our sky will stay cloudy today and tonight. Some rain at times. The high today 67, the low tonight 50. Tomorrow, clouds during the morning. Some clearing possible tomorrow afternoon. The high 65. Then a beautiful day on Friday, sunny with a high at 73. I'm James Spann of the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 59 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
Scott Smith and Softmark Design, doing business for 17 plus years, specializing in graphic design services, commercial printing, promotional products, advertising specialties, and so much more. Basically, any and everything you would need. Advertise, promote, and grow your business. Through strong partnerships, strong customer service, and creative ideas, they'll help you market and grow your business. Give Scott a call at 205-292-4680 or email scottis@comcast.net and visit them online at southmarkdesign.com.
Interact with the Martin Houston Show by calling us at 205-342-9904 or tuning into the Martin Houston Show on Facebook.
Three, two, one. You're back in with the Martin Houston Show. Thanks to the great folks over at Alabama One. Alabama One. Bigger, better savings. If you're looking to get into a new home, then you need to check out alabama1.org. That's alabama1.org for a new mortgage opportunity. They have big dreams, bigger savings, up to $2,000 cash back, no admin or processing fees, and you're going to get the award-winning service that you've come to expect at alabama1.org. If you've not used the credit union or a credit union, then you need to give them a try. They're not like the big banks. You're going to feel at home, welcome, and have a team that wants to serve you. That's Alabama One together. And once you get that home, drop by Alabama One Insurance, alabama1insurance.com, and we'll help you insure that new asset, make sure it's properly protected. That's Alabama One Credit Union and Alabama One Insurance. Alabama One together. All right, let's get back to the conversation. Wild Card Wednesday. We were talking when we went to break. We were talking about Toa and his impact and what it would mean. We've tossed up the question, what if Wednesday, and asked for bold predictions. Pat saying 300 yards or less, but we got John who is holding, and thanks for your patience, John. You may want to go in a little different direction this morning. Welcome to the Martin Houston Show. What's on your mind, sir?
Well, I've got a Lily Leatherwood story.
Okay.
But as far as football goes, could expectations be higher? I mean, it's almost scary to me to listen to everybody and the high expectations. I'm worried about the suicide rate in Tuscaloosa going up if we lose a football game.
Hey, John, think about this for a second. This is potentially Nick Saban's quote unquote least experienced team coming back, especially on the offensive side of the ball. In the spring game, Evan Neal was the only guy that was a starter for the majority of the season. Chris Owens started once Dickerson went out. Everyone else that played in that game was not a starter, was their first time on the offensive side of the ball. And we're excited that that we made with the addition of Williams from Ohio State and the emergence of Hall in the spring game, Bryce Young and all that. I'm thinking if you're another team out there, if you don't get Alabama this year, you know you're not going to get him. And all Nick Saban is doing right now is using the portal to get players immediately eligible and to change things. So it is going to be crazy expectations coming off a national championship team when you lost as many players as we did. It's kind of scary. But let me set up the Lily Leatherwood. Some people may not have been tuned in yesterday. We're talking about the Alabama Sports Hall of Fame and Lily Leatherwood, who thank you, Lily, for your service to the city of Tuscaloosa as a police officer for many years, recently retired, is also being inducted into the Alabama Sports Hall of Fame, along with one of my teammates, George Teague. So congratulations. And John has a Lily Leatherwood story. So take it away, John.
Well, I worked with the police department for a number of years, and I worked with Lily. The Police Olympics were in Tuscaloosa one year, and I went out there just to watch and see what was going on. I certainly didn't participate, but Lily lined up with the guys. I don't remember if it was the 440 or the 880. And people were saying, "What's that girl doing running against that boy? Those boys? That's funny. That she can't keep up with those men." She had just won a gold medal. And somewhere, like I say, it may have been the 440 or the 880, but somewhere around the first turn, they realized that those boys did not have a chance against that girl. She had already won the race before it was half over.
Yeah.
But, it was just, she was an amazing athlete.
She was.
Even a better person. She's a better person.
Yeah.
And it's just wonderful to have a lady like that in Tuscaloosa to represent us, to represent the University of Alabama, and she's just a wonderful person.
That is a funny story, and that's where you be careful. Not all people are created equal, and if you happen to have, if and I'm talking about when it comes to athletic ability. So when you have Leatherwood in your last name, just think when it comes to how fast they move their legs, just think lightning. Having been in Tuscaloosa since 1988, I've had the opportunity to see, coach, compete against, and be around the Leatherwoods, and I've yet to meet one of them that was not just from an athletic, the ones who played sports, an absolute special athlete. And Lily is definitely the cream of the crop when it comes to that. So kudos to her. Thanks, Joe. You got anything else for us?
No, I don't think so.
Well, we appreciate you calling. I think you qualify as a first-time caller, so we give you a shout-out. Welcome to the fam. So call back anytime.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you. Care. Take care. All right, let's get to Curtis Lewis. Curtis Lewis, you in with the Martin Houston Show. What's on your mind, sir?
Yeah, Martin, I'm going to make Pat's insane prediction same. My pick is going to be out of the transfer portal, out of Get You Some State University. I'm going with Jeremy Pruitt, defensive coordinator. I'm not saying that Pete's going to be pushed aside, but we're gonna drop him off a cliff for just a second, because with Jeremy Pruitt as the defensive coordinator and with Toto as our middle linebacker, we're able to just send that bunch of dogs that we got on our defense now, because we got a bunch of dogs over there now. We got some dogs. Between Christian Harris, Toto, Will Anderson, Chris Allen, and Ballard on the backside of the patroller like a little man who being that he is, we can kill people now. We can send guys left and right. We can have people so afraid to even take the snap, let alone do anything with the snap. We can now just go out there and have offenses just scared to even try to move that ball. So it's possible to keep people under 300, because for the better part of the game, they're not going to come out on the field anymore. They're going to be on pins and needles to even touch that blank piece of leather out there.
Hey, you didn't even mention the middle. You didn't even mention Tim Smith.
Well, Tim Smith is also another one of them dogs. He's a big dog. He's like a rabid hyena down there. I love the fact we got Tim Smith in the middle. Now I also didn't mention DJ Dale because we don't go on with the little kitty cat.
Hey.
That's what we got at every level on that defense. We got guys who can go get it and back up whoever's left after those guys get after that.
So if you had a choice, you wouldn't call for any other players right now. You just say, give me Jeremy Pruitt and this defense, and go ahead and put the trophy back in Tuscaloosa.
That's right. There's nobody out there that we need to go get prayer wise. There's nobody out there that we need to go get. We've got everything we need right now at the capstone. We just need somebody that's going to go out there and take what we've got and turn them into a unit that's feared throughout the SEC and the rest of the country once we get into the playoffs. Yeah, we know our offense is young. We know that, but we've got Bryce Young at the QB slot. And I think he's all we're going to need with the weapons we got around him to get the job done. We just got to get him seasoned. That's it. We've got the ingredients. We've got the prime cut. We just need to season them now. And until we get them seasoned, let's go out there and bust some people's heads and stop them from to get on the other side of that ball. Well, that's Jerry Pruitt. He's got that nasty mentality that we need as a defensive coordinator.
Now, of course, I had Joe check it out, and I think Jeremy is currently with the New York Giants, Joe Judge, who they had some relationship here at Alabama, so that's not a surprise at all. But are you making a bold prediction, or are you just saying that's what you'd like to have?
That's what I like to have. I don't think he's coming, but that's what I would love to have is for Jeremy Pruitt back.
That is man, that would be an absolute game changer. And that's not a knock on Pete Golding at all. I mean, but if you were like making a dream team, what if, as I said, a what if bold prediction Wednesday, man, what if Alabama had Jeremy Pruitt with this defense? I mean, because now you think about it now, Curtis, you said it a little bit, but make a specific scenario. Now with the guys we have coming off the edge, I know Joe is a big fan of our outside linebackers, and of course we saw even when we put the backups in, they could create pressure from the outside. Tim Smith is to me the best pass rusher. I don't think Fedarian is bad. What's his name is more of a space eater. He doesn't really get as much push. Talking about DJ Dale, but now, Curtis, when you put Toa and Harris and Battle in the middle of the field, you can send any of those guys up the middle and still feel comfortable. You see what I'm saying? Like if you want to create pressure up the middle with our outside pressure, you now probably feel comfortable that if you blitz Toa, then he's going to get there, but you have Christian Harris left in the middle and Battle behind him, or vice versa. You send Harris, you feel like he can get there, but you have a guy in the linebacker that can cover in space. So it creates the ability to do even more than you normally would from a blitz package, especially up the middle. And then I'm not saying that you may be able to put Harris or Toa out on the tight end and send Battle. So it just creates so many options to not just create natural pressure with your down lineman from the outside, but now through blitzing, you can create even more pressure up the middle. And that's tough business for a quarterback when you got push in the middle and pressure from the outside.
Yep. I mean, you got all bases covered, and including the injury bug. We got that covered too, because we got 2 and 3 deep that are just as nasty as the first guys up there. I mean, you got Lawson, you got Kennedy, you got not to mention Payne, who isn't even on the campus yet. Who backs up Tim Smith. I mean, you got guys left and right now. You can just go around, and if you just got a bad inclination at that point, you can go by and slap the ref upside his head. You can throw that guy out. We got another putback in now. The next one with him.
And you know who got one of the top players on defense during the spring was the Latham kid from Reform.
There you go. You got an embarrassment of riches. An embarrassment of riches. You got teams that be scared. You got teams forfeiting in this season. Be forfeiting like they forfeited during the COVID time. They just don't want to get messed up for that next game because they know they're gonna get killed.
Well,
that's my pick.
Well, I like that pick, and if that were the case, we definitely will be special. But you and Pat both going out there on the limb. You're saying that we may not get there with the 300 with Pete, but you know, I guess in the words of Chris Stewart, there still might be a chance with all the experience, huh?
Yep, that's exactly right. There still might be a chance.
All right, thanks, Curtis. Have a good one.
All right, Mark. You have a good one.
All right, coming back on the other side, we'll continue the conversation with Toa Williams, what they mean to this Alabama Crimson Tide team. We just had a little Lily Leatherwood story. Be careful when you don't know what's in the package. It can blow up on you. So, and that's what Lily Leatherwood did, according to John, who called in, first-time caller. Thank you for being a part of the program as well. Come back on the other side. More conversation about the transfers and what they mean to this Alabama Crimson Tide football team.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, no active wrecks on this wet Wednesday morning. Just slow down and be careful. McFarland eastbound a bit slow at Merlene, and McFarland westbound also congested at Scott. If you see other conditions, give us a call. Other dealers may be out of inventory, but Townsend Nissan has an awesome selection. And yes, they really want your trade. Townsend Nissan. I'm Captain Ray.
Hello, this is Martin Houston with the Martin Houston Show, and I want to tell you about one of our great sponsors, Overflow Express Wash. Their mission is to provide great customer service with a showroom clean car and an exceptional customer service experience. They have the basic car wash that starts at $7, but you need to check out the premium wash packages, which start as low as $12 and go up to $20. They also have a membership wash club that you can get for starting at $23.99, going up to $39.99. In other words, just double the regular premium package, drop a penny, and you can be one of the great members of Overflow Express Wash. My family and I keep our cars looking good inside and out by using Overflow Express Wash. They're located on Skyland Boulevard right next door to Alabama 1, or you can find them online at overflowexpresswash.com. Andy Phillips and his team look forward to making you a part of their team.
At Northport Auto Supply, we understand there's nothing worse than a dead battery. So to keep this from happening, be sure you periodically check your battery, including the terminals for corrosion. And if you ever need help, then come by Northport Auto Supply and let our knowledgeable professionals check your battery for free. Northport Auto Supply has the area's largest inventory of batteries in stock, and we'll even install it for you at no charge. Northport Auto Supply. Why go anywhere else?
Clay's Cleaning Service has a spotless reputation.
Take care of the windows. Hello, this is Clay.
But his business operations could use a light dusting.
I had you scheduled for next week. I'll just check here. No, absolutely. We will be there tomorrow.
Indeed can help him hire the people he needs.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job, you immediately get your short list of quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job criteria. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Nick Saban calls it the process. John Maxwell said that everything rises and falls on it. And Coach Wooden said it's what you learn after you think you know it all that makes the difference. What am I talking about? Leadership and personal development. Is your organization, your school, your church, your family, are they receiving the proper level of leadership development and personal development? If not, the Empowerment Center for Leadership and Mentoring can help you with that. We have our Pep Talks, which is a 1 to 1.5 hour lunch and learn which we can customize to meet your needs, or we have some topics that we present that we know can help your organization. And if you're looking for one-on-one mentoring and coaching, we can also assist you with that. Visit peptalks35.com. That's peptalks35.com. Or send an email to martin@martinhouston.org. That's the Empowerment Center for Leadership and Mentoring.
Welcome back to the Martin Houston Show, the sound of Bama sports. Your show, your team, on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Martin, you're hot. Curtis Moore is joining Lake Martin John on hold.
Thank you for being back in with the Martin Houston Show. It is kicking off the second half. We have Lake Martin John, who has been patiently waiting, so we'll get right to him. Lake Martin John, you're in with the Martin Houston Show. What's on your mind, sir?
Hey, good morning, gentlemen, and also a shout out to the new John calling in. Welcome to the family. You'll have a lot of fun here. But one question I had, Mark, I don't know if you got to watch the SEC softball tournament that kicked off yesterday, but I said a lot of prayers for this young South Carolina player who was a slide at first base, and she was taken to Druid City Hospital unconscious and immobile. She didn't move, put on a stretcher, and I just didn't know if maybe Joe could get us an update. I was real concerned about the young lady. Have you heard anything?
I did not. I was not even aware of it. Did not see it. See anything in regards to that. Joe, do you have anything, or have you seen or heard anything?
Give me just a moment. I'll pull up an update. I know that Cecil Hurd tweeted about her status yesterday. I believe that she'll be okay. Just see.
Oh, good. She was immobile. I mean, they
barely move. I believe that she'll be okay. But let's see. I'm trying to pull it up.
Probably won't be available for the LSU game.
I know that she was taken to DCH, and I believe she'll be okay. But
did she get hit with a pitch, or what happened?
No, she was sliding back. There was a play where she had to get back to first base, and the Auburn player was there. The first baseman was there, and she slid in, and it looked like she hit her shoulder somehow. I don't know, but she couldn't move. So, but anyway, if Joe could check on that, I'd certainly appreciate it.
Well, we send up.
Bring up another topic. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say we send up prayers on her behalf, and that it's not anything long term, and wishing her nothing but the best.
All right. Well, listen. A new topic. It's Free for All Wednesday here. I don't think you'll find a more avid college football fan. Smarter, yes, but more avid, no. But I only casually follow the NFL, and the reason being is the business aspect. It doesn't seem like they're playing for as much pride in college. They are. That's the way it seems to me. And as an old man, I guess that may be what I want to believe. But do you see, as I do, the innocence of college football kind of falling by the way? When they opened up the transfer portal, it just kind of raised an eyebrow a little bit, not much, but with a name, image, and likeness, I can basically, to my horror, envision college football just becoming a way that instead of choosing the school you want to go to and represent, you choose who will get you the most money. What market area is LA better for my style of personality, or is New York? Where do I want to play college football to try and make the biggest impact? Does anyone else out there? Am I the only one that sees maybe the innocence of college football wailing in that? How about you, Martin?
Well, I would definitely say you're not the only one that has that concern. I know if you listen to Ryan Fowler, he's really concerned. He thinks that this is going to help the schools like the Californias and the New Yorks of the world because they have such bigger markets. I actually think it probably won't in that sense of helping, because a Tua Tagovailoa in Tuscaloosa is known by everyone nationwide that's a football fan, right? Tua Tagovailoa in California is just another thing. I mean, when was the last time you saw big time names, even though there's been first round draft picks coming out from California? It's just so much stuff going on out there. It's hard to become the superstar. That's why Nick Saban is more recognizable than any other figure in the state, and that would go for the players who choose to come here. What I do think you have to be concerned with, but it's already there. It's just growing. Kids are already choosing their schools based on who can get them to the NFL. When I was coming along, and that, of course, that's been, when the earth was cooling, but you were choosing to come play for the Crimson Tide. Most of the kids today, Lake Martin John, I don't want to hurt your feelings even more because you're on to something. They were already choosing Alabama because Alabama has the greatest chance to get them to the next level. They were choosing Clemson for the same reason, and Ohio State and Georgia. That's why those teams have remained good. Now they're going to be choosing teams that put together the best programs to help build name, image, and likeness. Well, guess what? Who do you think that's going to be? Nick Saban already has the Advantage program. Lake Martin John. I was talking to an Auburn guy yesterday, and Auburn graduate, and he was an athlete at Auburn in a different sport. And he said he had friends who were complaining about Alabama starting an Advantage program. He said, it's coming. He said, it's coming. He said, why haven't Auburn came up with the same plan? So yeah, some of that innocence is going to be lost. But I think the difference, Lake Martin John, that will still remain, even with a lot of the stuff that looks like the NFL, is this is still going to be the minor league. Okay. You've not arrived and you don't have a contract guarantee. Okay. I've heard people say, well, when these players start making this money, they're going to stop playing and they're going to stop doing it. Nobody's going to give them a guaranteed contract of $20 million, okay, a signing bonus, etc., of that type of money. They're still going to be driven to put that same energy you're talking about into it. And when they don't, they're going to be gone. That's the difference. When you get to the NFL, you've reached the highest level and you've got that contract and you've got guaranteed money. When you're at the college level, you're still trying to get somewhere else. So I think you'll still see that energy that you like about the college game that you don't necessarily see spread throughout the NFL.
I appreciate that's a little encouragement. Boy, I tell you, if I were not an Alabama fan reaping the benefits of all this going on, I sure would be leaving more depressed than I am now. But
well, I'm telling you, Lake Martin John, I was talking to DC yesterday, and we were talking about this not having impact, and I'm like, I think DC was answering that from the Alabama Crimson Tide standpoint when he was saying it's not going to hurt college football or the SEC. That's because we're benefiting. If you're the other schools,
I appreciate it. Listen, I'd like other people's opinions too, but I tell you, I'm really looking forward to Scotty. The last few weeks with my situation, he's really bolstered my faith. So I'm looking forward to hearing Mr. Scotty today.
All right, let me get to Curtis Moore. Curtis Moore, you're in with the Martin Houston Show. What's on your mind, sir?
Hey, good morning, Joe and Martin.
Good morning.
Hey, real quick, I just had a question. Kind of going off what Curtis Lewis was saying earlier, just something that came to my mind. And there's no right or wrong answer to this because it never happened. It's hypothetical, but I figure I'd throw it out there on a wild card Wednesday. What if Jeremy Pruitt never left for the Tennessee job? And 2 years ago in 2019, where we had all those injuries happen, and, going against LSU, of course, we lost, and we lost to Auburn as well. Do you think that Jeremy Pruitt would have had those same defensive struggles? Because these are young linebackers to start, the Shane Lees and the young Christian Harrison. And I can go on and on. Do you think he would have even been successful? Even as a play caller? I just want to get you and Joe's opinion on that.
Joe, I'll let you go first real quick, and then I'll come in. Great question, Curtis.
Yes, I think they would have been successful. I think that I think Pete Golding was successful that year. Also, we lost 2 games the whole year. I have a hard time saying it wasn't a successful year. Yeah, the defense could have been better, and maybe Jeremy Pruitt would have made that incremental difference. But I think, he would have had success for sure.
I think Curtis is on Pete's side as well, Joe. I think Curtis was saying that Pete Golding now has experienced defensive players where he didn't have 2 years ago. I think the difference, the incremental difference, would have been 2 things. One is I think Jeremy would have been a better teacher because he was more familiar with the principles, which could have got those guys further along. And whether that results in more wins or not, another story. But some of the mistakes would have been gone. The other thing, Joe, is I think Toa Toa would have been here instead of in Tennessee. So you see what I'm saying? I think that was because he was heavy Alabama until Jeremy got that job in Tennessee. So I think that we may have been looking at Toa Toa as the guy here, which would have given us. Maybe Shane Lee isn't the guy in Toa Toa who started as a true freshman and played all SEC football, would have been playing for Alabama, so it would have been a different story. Thanks, Curtis. That is a great question. Maybe we need to dig a little deeper into it at a later time. Appreciate you, man, being a part of the program each and every day.
All right, take care. Roll Tide.
Take care. Hey, we'll get this on tomorrow, Joe, but is there a guy that you would get out of the portal if you could?
I think there's a couple guys that you could. I look at Kayvon Thibodeau from Oregon. I look at the kid from Derek Stingley from LSU.
Woo!
Guys where you could say, if I could take him off of their team, that would be really impactful. The Weidermeyer tight end from Texas A&M, you take him off the A&M team and add him to Alabama, and you just cripple some of the competition by taking some of the guys that you could get.
Hey, let's talk about that on tomorrow, Joe, because I think there's a couple other names out there. And hey, listeners, if you're listening, be thinking about if you could go cherry pick, who would you bring to the Crimson Tide? And the ones you just mentioned would have a double whammy in terms of loss and gain. More of that conversation as we continue throughout the week. But coming up next, we have Scotty Hollins, Executive Director, Blueprint Ministries, presented by Johnson and Marshall Dentistry, the Christian Moment of the Week, up next.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, no active wrecks on this wet Wednesday morning. Just slow down and be careful. McFarland eastbound a bit slow at Merlene, and McFarland westbound also congested at Skyland. If you see other conditions, give us a call. Other dealers may be out of inventory, but Townsend Nissan has an awesome selection. And yes, they really want your trade. Townsend Nissan, I'm Captain Ray.
Here's what's trending on the Tuscaloosa thread.
Good morning. Colonial believes their pipeline across the southeast will be operational by the end of the week, but that has not stopped motorists in several southern states from swarming gas stations and creating gas shortages. Alabama is not one of those states. The pipeline was shut down by Russian criminals who infected Colonial's pipeline computer system with ransomware. It's the most severe ransomware attack to date. Experts say it shows how vulnerable the U.S. infrastructure is. The 5,000-mile pipeline runs across West Alabama. I'm Don Hurtley.
Hello, this is Martin Houston with the Martin Houston Show, and I want to tell you about Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing. If you're looking for a way to add value to your home, make your flower beds pop, make your landscaping stand out from your neighbors, then Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing can help you do just that. They have numerous styles, but they feature the Moroccan Stone Curb series, which includes 4 great styles and unlimited color choices. That's Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing. They are the one that can help you stand out from your neighbors. Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing, 205-331-6823. You may also find yourself with the need for a custom size stone or custom shaped stone. Then Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing can help with that as well. Paul Fuller and his team are waiting on your call right now for that free quote. And if you tell them Martin Houston with the Martin Houston Show told you to stop by, you'll get a big discount. So call Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing at 205-331-6823 or visit them online at Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing LLC.
The thing about the Home and Auto Bundle from Progressive is that by now you've heard a lot of ads about the Home and Auto Bundle from Progressive. We don't even need the words the Home and Auto Bundle anymore to tell you that you could save big with a ring-tailed lemur from Progressive, or that every hot peach cobbler comes with round-the-clock service and protection. And that's the thing about the goat with magic powers. You've heard a lot of ads about the sushi in Vancouver. See how much you could save with the Home and Auto with the Shaman in the Jungle from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Bundle discount not available in all states or situations.
Clay's Cleaning Service has a spotless reputation.
Take care of the windows. Hello, this is Clay.
But his business operations could use a light dusting.
Boy, I had you scheduled for next week. I'll just check here. No, absolutely. We will be there tomorrow.
Indeed can help him hire the people he needs.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job, you immediately get your short list of quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job criteria. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
The sound of Bama sports. Your show, your team. The Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Three, two, one.
Welcome back into the Martin Houston Show on Tide 100.9. It's now time for our weekly catch-up with Scotty Hollins, Executive Director of Blueprint Ministries, the Johnson & Marshall Dentistry Christian Moment of the Week. Good morning, Scotty. How you doing, sir?
Hey, good morning, Martin. I'm doing fantastic. How are you?
Doing well. Well, I toss it to you to encourage us how to incorporate our faith into our chosen field of play, whether it's the boardroom, the classroom, or wherever we find ourselves competing in today's world. Take it away, sir.
Absolutely, man. I just want to just look back at our passage that we've been walking through for the last really couple of months. We've taken our time getting through it, and my challenge has been that we are receiving a message from the author of Hebrews on how to finish strong. And I think for believers, we have to, understand that all eyes are on us as believers. We get the privilege of being Christ's ambassadors, and the ambassadors that are his representatives who get a chance to be the light of the world. And guess what? It's not our light, it's his light. It's not really our example, it's his example through us. And so I think this passage, as we kind of wrap it up, I think this passage is so encouraging. I love what you shared last week, Martin, just about just our kind of grand finale of the passage, looking at how even Jesus, we've looked at how when it comes to finishing strong, even Jesus had to kind of motivate himself. That's
right.
The joy that was set before him. He endured. That's a really key word. Endured the cross, the pain of the cross, the shame of the cross. But it was for the joy that was set before him. And I think as we look at this little formula, I think it can help us to say, all right, well, look, I'm gonna adopt that. I'm gonna embrace that formula. That I'm gonna understand that there will be times in my life where something is so difficult that I can't enjoy it. But it's in front of me, and it's part of God's plan for my life, and it's something that is part of His growth plan for me. It's part of, maybe even part of His way of me reaching those around me with the gospel. But I can't go around this. I can't go under it. I have to go right through it. And in order for me to endure this, not enjoy it, but endure it, I got to think about the joy that's set before me.
Right.
So I want us to just keep that in mind and just understand these situations will happen. These circumstances, again, for believers, they will happen. But I want us to begin to really build a repertoire of joys that are set before us. The greatest of which are living to honor God. There should be no greater joy for us than just, guess what? We have been given so great a salvation for free. There's nothing we can do to earn it or deserve it. One joy should be, Lord, I want to show you how thankful I am for this.
Yes.
I can't earn it. I can't deserve it. But I want to, out of gratitude for all that you've done, I want my perseverance. I want my obedience. I want my even my witness through this struggle. I want that to say, Lord, you are worth more than everything to me. But also one other joy that we can say, in this repertoire of joys, one other joy that we can say is how impactful can our perseverance, our endurance of this struggle, how impactful can that be to those around us? I've been through certain things, Martin, where I'm like, you know what? I went through that. For me, there was lots of growth that had to happen in my life. But I also went through that so I could encourage others as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was going to say you're so right, and I used this probably 3 times since we got off the air. Just talking with people, going through some new things and difficult things. And my advice is find that joy now, Joe.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Scotty.
Martin. Find it now.
Now, when things are good. When things are good, because Jesus, the joy that was set before Jesus was the reason he came. So when he found himself on the cross, he already knew that the joy set before him was that there's going to be a reconciled relationship with creation. And that joy had driven him his whole life. And then when he got to the toughest part, the cross, he was able to stay on it for us. And that's how you do it. Find that joy now, set it before you. In the good times, you get to enjoy it even more, but it would also hold you in those times of difficulty. Real quick, tell our listeners where they can find you, sir.
Absolutely. You can go to www.blueprinttuscaloosa.com. You can send me a message there. It comes straight to my email.
Man, that is Scotty Hollins encouraging us. Jesus didn't embrace it. He didn't enjoy it, but he endured the cross because of the joy set before him. What's the joy that's set before you today? Find it, hold on to it, and then show through your dedication and determination how thankful you are for it, and endure to the end. Thank you, Scotty. We'll catch up with you next week.
Hey, thank you.
All right. That's Joe Gaither. That's Scotty Hollins. Thanks to Johnson Marshall Dentistry. DentistTuscaloosa.com is where you can find them. I'm Martin Houston. Thanks to all the callers, listeners, viewers, and participants in the Martin Houston Show. We'll be back tomorrow with more conversation around the transfer portal, name, image, and likeness, and so much more. Thanks for a Wild Card Wednesday. Remember this, trust in the Lord always. Trust him in always. Lean not your own understanding. All your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your paths. Roll Tide, and have a blessed day.
Thank you for listening to the Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9.
You too, man. Roll Tide.
Tide 100.9.